Now, the next video, my dear comrades, is the last part of this series of videos. And this video is on, first of all, a lesson plan on how teachers can make their lesson plans in understanding logarithms. So we are through with the indices now. Remember the videos were on indices and logarithms. So I want to summarize now with logarithms. So lesson plan. Welcome to the video. So in the lesson plan, understanding logarithms, the grade level is 10 to 12, which is high school. And the lesson will take about 60 minutes. The objective will be students who understand the concept of logarithms and how they relate to exponents. Students will be able to convert between exponential and logarithmic forms. And students will solve basic logarithmic equations. Those are the objectives of your lesson. The materials you need are the whiteboard and markers, graphing calculator or scientific calculator, handouts with practice problems, projector and slides, which is optional because maybe not many schools can afford that. The key vocabulary, or what you are going to focus on, is the following ones: logarithm, exponent or index, base, logarithmic form, exponential form. So the lesson outline, which is having several parts. The first part will be introduction, which will take 10 minutes, right? Greet the class and you explain the objective. Briefly explain that logarithms are the inverses of exponents and are used to solve equations involving exponentiation. Then after that, you have a warm-up activity for 8 minutes. And in this warm-up activity, you can begin with a few simple exponential equations on the board, e.g. 2 cubed equals 8, 3 squared equals 9. Ask students what happens when we want to find the exponent that results in a given number, e.g. what power of 2 gives us 8? Find the exponent or index. Whenever I use the word exponent, it can be replaced by the word index. Introduce the concept of logarithms by showing that the logarithm of 8 to base 2 equals 3. Direct instruction takes 20 minutes, where you have the definition and the notation, which will take 5 minutes. Write the general form of a logarithm on the board. There it is. The logarithm of a to base b equals c, where b raised to c equals a. Explain each component. B is base, a is called argument, and c is logarithm or exponent. So now you see the word exponent has got 3 meanings. It can mean logarithm, it can mean index, and it can mean exponent. Emphasize that the logarithm of a to base b asks the question, to what power must b be raised to obtain a? Emphasize that, teacher. Then we have examples now which will take 5 minutes. Walk through a few examples on the board. Like the logarithm of 16 to base 2 is equal to 4 because 2 raised to 4 equals 16. Logarithm of 27 to base 3 equals 3 because 3 cubed equals 27. The logarithm of 1000 to base 10 equals 3 because 10 cubed equals 1000. Show the conversion between logarithmic and exponential forms. Properties of logarithms, my dear teacher, will take 10 minutes. Introduce and explain the key properties of logarithms. The first one is product rule, where the logarithm of xy to base b equals logarithm of x to base b plus logarithm of y to base b. Quotient rule, the logarithm of x over y to base b is equal to the logarithm of x to base b minus the logarithm of y to base b. Power rule, the logarithm of x raised to k to base b equals k, the logarithm of x to base b. Remember, these are general numbers. Any positive number. Provide examples and solve a few problems using these properties. Guided practice teacher will take 15 minutes. Class practice 15 minutes. Distribute handouts with variety of problems. Work through the first few problems together as a class. Converting between logarithmic and exponential forms. Evaluating logarithms with different bases. Simplifying logarithmic expressions. Guys, sorry, again, there was a problem with the camera. I don't know whether it is the writing because I'm doing this in the evening. So I was giving the class practice 15 minutes as I was saying converting between logarithmic and exponential forms, evaluating logarithms with different bases, simplifying logarithmic expressions using properties. Work around the classroom to provide assistance and ensure understanding. Independent practice individual work. Allow students to work on the remaining problems on the handout independently. Encourage students to use their calculators for more complex calculations and offer additional problems for advanced students or as extra credit. Review and conclusion will take 5 minutes. Review key concepts takes 3 minutes, where you summarize the key points covered in the lesson. Definition and notation of logarithms, converting between logarithmic and exponential forms, properties of logarithms. Exit ticket will take 2 minutes. Ask students to write down one thing they learned and one question they still have about logarithms. Collect the exit tickets to assess understanding and plan future instructions. Homework. Assign a set of practice problems from the textbook or the worksheet that reinforces the day's lesson. Include problems that require conversion between forms, evaluation of logarithms, and use of properties. Assessment will be formative and summative. Formative, observe student participation during class discussion and guided practice. Summative, grade the homework assignment and possibly give a quiz at the end of the week. This lesson plan should help students grasp the fundamental concepts of logarithms and provide plenty of practice to reinforce their understanding